I'm not gonna lie, it's been really hard to drag myself away from Mountain Blade 2 to come back to Road Trader. But one thing I've been noticing, and that's been keeping me going, is they appear to have mass buffed the enemies for unfair. So when I first started playing Norgus in 1.2, it was fairly tricky. But then when the DLC update happened, everything seemed easy. I noticed immediately that the Chaos Spawn was only doing 2 or 3 damage to my A-Blood. Going back into this run for 1.3, it's doing up to 17 damage again. So, yeah, I feel like they've definitely blanket buffed everything. The Nimble Prisoner seemed crazy on the previous world. I wasn't planning on recording anything, so I was just going through to update my builds. And then I'm like, yeah, I need to replay everything and replan out some of my builds and change where I take some talents. There's been a lot of item changes. They've changed the way a lot of the stuff works through it. Like my Alpha build now just doesn't work as the way it used to do. And it seems to be that they want you to go Flamer, Bolt Pistol, and it's really weird because they've made it an area build as well as a sword and pistol build. So he's not really designed to do both. So they just nerfed the heavy gunner build, so there's a lot of stuff that needs to be reworked. But on the good side, the new cutscenes they added to the prologue are absolutely fantastic. I'm loving the updated models that they had on all the enemies in the prologue. The new models for the companions, like A-Blood specifically, looks beautiful. I can't wait to get to Heinrichs. But yeah, so I'm going to be going through re-updating all the builds. So I'm going to be changing all of my companion builds, all of my Rogue Trader builds. So the spreadsheet's going to see a lot of updates. I've actually created separate sections. So if you're following along with the 1.2 ones, you can still do that. But just keep in mind that I am going to be re-optimizing everything and creating a new tab. And after a few months, I will phase out the 1.2. But it probably won't be for a month or two. So you've still got plenty of time to follow along with that. But yeah, I'm going to update everything to make it a little bit more effective. There's a few things I changed, like obviously with the Grim Dark Challenge I held back some information which I then updated afterwards, so the builds that you'll see this time will be complete and they'll have everything in the video, so we'll get along to do that quite nicely. I'm not going to have as much detail in them, because before, when I was talking through them, I showed every fight relevant to the abilities and why I was taking them, and it took several hours to really go through and explain that, but with views being only like 100 to 1,000, it's 3 to 4 hours editing is just way too much time to redo all 12 companion builds and then do 10 plus Rogue Trader builds. So I'll try to keep that a little bit shorter, a little bit sweeter, so for the few of you that do watch and want to see some improvements, that I'll definitely get that out to you. But you should know that I'm putting off Path of Exile 2 as well as Mountain Blade to do that as well. But on to the actual difficulty here as well, so a little bit of rambling aside, so we're going to keep this short, probably only to about 5 minutes, but yeah, I'm noticing heavily that they've buffed everything. Even the scene where they introduce Cabela and you have to fight the prisoner, you have to play everything perfectly on fair, and I'm actually really enjoying that. I imagine once you get to Act 2, difficulty will drop off the same as it does normally because your builds are just so OP, but yeah, no, Act 1's feeling a lot more challenging, and I'm really enjoying that. But on the other hand, I'm kind of worried that the Chaos Spawn might be too difficult for some, because even in the Grim Darkness Challenge on Daring, the Chaos Spawn killed off some of the streamers. And it feels like, the Chaos Spawn on Unfair now was a big challenge. I only barely beat it. I had to cheese it with Argenta running away from it. So I had not prepared properly for that. But no, that does look much better. But they've also changed some of the encounters, so I haven't got to any encounters that have changed too much, other than the fact that those enemies seem to have buff stats. So I am looking forward to seeing what they've done there. I'm already noticing some item changes, and they've reworked some of the stats. Like, I toy boxed some of the items earlier, so on the Owlcat Discord, I've uploaded images of all the new items. But I've been noticing they also changed a few of them. Like the Deathworld Light Armor you get in the next area after his had a 5% armor increase. So there's been a lot of small little changes that is actually very nice. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to this and to try out yourself. And like I said, if you're going into Unfair and you're just updating the difficulty for the first time and you start getting your butt whooped and you've never played an Unfair, don't feel bad. They've definitely increased the difficulty. It is harder now than it was then. It's going to be very interesting to get to the Aurora fight, I think. because yeah, I think he's just going to be a little bit tougher. But then again, he's still going to be level 16, and now we can rotate zones, so it's going to be very fun to try out. But anyway, any more than this, I'll just be rambling about nothing. So yeah, look forward to seeing the updates, build changes, and stuff like that. I'll have some videos coming out as soon as I get them through. If I can stream any part of this run, I will do, but till then, boy.